Well, hey guys, Big A coming to you from Old Hickory Lake. What a beautiful morning it is. I was fishing for the past, actually about 3 hours. I got out here before daylight and it has just been absolutely beautiful. And I was thinking about a question that a guy asked me a couple of days ago. Robin and I took a few days off. We went to Chattanooga and kind of hung out. And this guy asked me, he said, "What do you do professionally?" And I looked at him and I thought for a minute, and I thought, I'm going to tell this guy what I do, and he's not going to have a clue. He's not going to understand it any. And I thought, I'm going to attempt to answer that a little bit here because I'm so passionate about it. I believe in it so much. Now, I'm just going to tell you straight up, some of you that follow me, this is going to be a little bit longer than normal. And if you need to come back later and take a peek at it if you're interested, then do that. But I want to take just a second and explain the reason I'm so passionate about what I do. 10 years ago, I was going to retire. I was going to hang it up and I was going to call it good. And then a couple of my buddies encouraged me to start coaching it, which I did and fell in love with it. Started doing podcast interviews, kind of telling a little bit more about my story. And people started coming saying, "Hey, Big A, I'd like for you to coach me and teach me how to live a successful and a significant life." And the more podcast interviews I did, the more people came. And I said, well, first of all, I can't coach this many people. And how can I make a difference? What can I do to make an impact in their life? And I said, I could do a mastermind group because it's something that I've been doing now for a couple of decades. And a lot of you listening today are like, what in the world is a mastermind? I think we make that way too complicated. It's really like your own board of directors. It's trusted advisors that you really come to and say, "Hey, I need some help in this area." They give you advice and you're like, "Hey, that's great. I didn't really know to know that. And this is a new perspective. And let me give that a try because I trust you. And so therefore it might work." Well, that's in essence what we do. And we do that every single week, month after month, year after year, decade after decade. Because over 21 years, I've been meeting in a mastermind group every single week. And the two biggest obstacles that I hear every single time I tell somebody that really doesn't know what it is that, well, I don't want to pay or I can't afford to pay. And the second thing is time doesn't allow. And so I wanted to talk to you just a little bit about masterminds really may not be for you. They truthfully may not be for you. And here's the reason. A lot of people don't want to be authentic. They're like scared to death to be authentic because if they are, people may find them out and find out that they're not doing as well as as the facade is showing that they're doing. And so they just like recluse. They're like, "Hey, I don't want to tell anybody how I'm doing because I'm not quite honestly doing as well. Like my marriage is not as good as people think it is, or our finances are not as good as people think they are, or I don't have all the answers like people think I have all the answers. So I'm just going to be isolated and I'm just going to do my thing." Now, if that's you and you have no interest whatsoever in coming to a group and saying, "Hey, here it is, the good, the bad, the ugly. This is the whole deal. This is who I am as an individual. This is maybe masterminds are for you because it gets pretty rough in there sometimes, just to be honest with you. Guys come clean. They come in there and they say, "Hey, I want to make more money, but I don't really know how to make more money." Or, "I want my marriage to be good, but I don't know what else to do." I talked to a guy yesterday for about 45 minutes and he told me that the mastermind has made more of an impact in his marriage than anything else. He said, "I didn't really realize what a jerk I was being to my wife." I don't think he was doing it intentional. I just don't think anyone had ever taught him really how to treat his wife with the utmost of respect and care and treat her like he should. And some of the guys in the mastermind called him out. Now, this guy's a extremely wealthy guy. I mean, it's not like he's somebody that's not out here making a concerted effort at being a good man and providing for his family, and he's done extremely well financially. But that was a piece in his marriage that he really needed. And then you think, what would it look like to go into a group and just bare your soul and say, no, this is after time. This is not like your first visit or second visit or even a month. But this is when you find out that these non-biased, trusted advisors have your best interest at heart. They don't have anything to gain or lose as a result of what they tell you, and they can give you honest feedback. They can give you a new perspective. They can give you insight like you'd never had before. Now, if you don't like accountability, this is not for you either. And some guys don't like accountability. They're like, I don't want people telling me what to do, and I don't want people calling me out. Well, that's fine. But for me, like, I want to live life to its fullest. And I know that I suck really bad in some areas. And I know if I don't have accountability, I won't go do those things. One of them being working out, like, or eating properly, because I love to eat and I don't like to work out. And I know that if I didn't have that accountability, I might hit the snooze button, or I may just go, I'm busy. I don't have time to do that. But for me, I want to excel in that area. Health is my word for the year, and I need these people around me. So I'm on text threads every single day. Guys are texting, Big A, did you work out? Did you go to the gym? Did you eat properly? And sometimes I'm like, oh my gosh, I don't want to answer that. But you know what the truth is I've lost 54 pounds recently because those guys text me and call me out. Some of you are like, I don't want that. Well, then masterminds are not for you. The truth is, masterminds really are not for everybody. They're for a select group of people that want to excel in the five key areas of your life, whether that be personally or relationally or spiritually or financially or physically. Some of these areas that maybe you're just not good in, but you're like, hey, I just don't want to do that. I want the life, but I don't want the lifestyle. They don't want to put in the work. And I just wanted to come to you this morning and tell you that if this is something that you're missing, reach out to us. We started from scratch 8 years ago, and we have 18 mastermind groups now. Now, it's been hard work. It's taken hundreds, if not thousands, of podcasts and blogs and Facebook Lives and interviews and emails and text and tweets and chats and you name it in order to get the word out. But I'm such a believer in it because it has so radically changed my life that I want to share it, that I just want to say, hey, this is something that's hard. It's hard as crap. I mean, you get in these rooms and you're like, hey, here it is, guys. I didn't do good this week and I need you to hold me accountable. But if you've got all that, then you can turn me off. Like, just cut me off. Say, I'm tired of listening to you anyway. Just cut me off. But if you're like, hey, I'd like to explore more, I just like to know more about it, then just private message me here or comment down below and we'll reach out to you and we'll just tell you more. I mean, it doesn't cost anything to get information. But if you're like, I like my life and I have all the answers and I don't need other people's perspective and I don't need insight and I don't need accountability and I'm making plenty money and I don't need an accountability group, I don't need a small group, then hey, then we're not for you. But if you're like, there's a deficit in my life, Big A, you're ringing a bell right now. It is so amazing too because you're not doing life together. I mean, you've got a camaraderie of a brotherhood that you're locking arms and you're going out there and you're tackling these challenges together. And I don't know about you, but for me, it's necessary. It's like I can't even imagine not having a group of trusted advisors around me. But the other thing is, yeah, it costs something. People pay attention to what they pay for. And you're like, well, why can't I just get a group and go and meet? You can. You can. And as soon as one of the other members has an opportunity to play golf or take a trip or make some extra money that day, they're going to miss the group because they have nothing invested. Now, that's not always true. And I'll tell you why. There are some people that are totally committed that can meet in a group, and it's not about the level of commitment financially, and they're going to show up anyway. And kudos to you. My hat is off to you. That's a rarity. To hang on to those guys if you've got that. That is absolutely amazing. But I know as well as you do, when you pay for something and you get in there, you're like, hey, I want to get my money's worth, so I'm going to show up. I've got an investment and I want an ROI. And historically, we have found that to be true in about 98% of the people. The other side of that is like, it's the way I make a living. And I know that's selfish on my part, but it's like, hey, we put these groups together and there's transformation in people's lives. But the return on investment for you is your life gets better. You make more money. You have accountability. You're a better man. You're a better husband. You're a better dad because we hold you accountable for doing that. So I just wanted to take a minute this morning and explain to you a little bit about what we do. It's not a hard sale. We're not twisting arms, but we are always interested in good people, people that are willing to be authentic and vulnerable and transparent. And if that's you, reach out to us. Just leave us a message down below, and I'll reach out to you. There again, it doesn't cost anything to have a few minutes online or a phone call just to tell you a little bit more about it. Well, I've not got long, so I'm going to get back to fishing right now. I've got to get home and get a shower. I've got an early appointment this morning, but I was just thinking about you and wanted to reach out and tell you what we do. Hope you guys have a great day. We'll see you.